time, we're gonna bring Dantès Alexander forward to Who They Want.
Hey, how are you guys? Thanks for having me.
Long time no see. First of all, now
What's
you all
up, man?
business
Welcome
savvy.
back.
Now I gotta go through your agents to talk to you now.
Well, just busy. Like you, trying to stay busy. So yeah.
Oh, so
I
it's getting
love
to
it.
that point we're gonna have to say, "Oh, we knew him when."
Thank you, right?
We knew him when. So we're already getting to that point, huh?
I don't know if I can say that. I try and keep a pretty level head about things. So.
You've always been down to earth. That's one thing about it. So when he reached, it was funny, Kyle, because I'm getting the message about thank you for reaching out to Dante. He's go like, oh, so we done got to this level. I used to always get up to dates before the tracks was coming out, any news articles, and any upcoming podcast that he would get. And I'm like, oh, so rip him out the plastic. He acting brand new on me.
Well, it's hard to do everything by yourself. When doing
Yeah.
so many things. So it just makes it easy for me to manage my social media with, my team. I have like a team of like 6 people that I work with. So
That's what I'm talking about. I'm trying to be like you, Uncle Frank. I'm trying to have a team of 6 people. I think I got a team of 6. I just don't text them to let them know what needs to be done.
oh, I mean, it's definitely a team effort, but it's a lot of work. So
That's what's up,
Beautiful.
man.
So this is how things been since the last time we spoke, huh?
I mean, there's been I think what was that? Maybe a year, maybe 2 year or 2.
Has it?
Right.
Oh shoot, you're right.
Yeah. So there's been a lot of things that have that have happened since then. Some good, some bad.
Mhm.
I lost my mother in May.
Oh, our
Well,
condolences.
yeah, it's been rough, and just the storm has continued to grow more ever present. My father passed away, actually, unfortunately, today.
What?
Yeah,
Whoa. My
Wait,
yeah,
condolences first.
hold on.
yeah.
Right? Let's pause break that, Kyle. Go on, break it down to him.
What do you mean your dad passed? What are you doing here?
Well, I mean, one thing that you have to do in life is keep calm and carry on. I have a great deal of responsibilities, and this is no different than anything else. So.
Oh, understandable, but at the same time, man, if you were to say, "Hey, we got to we got to reschedule. I'm in mourning," then we definitely would
Well,
no.
understand, there's always time to book you on Who They Want. I know the
This
Exactly.
is
last
You
2
true, but
always have a spot.
you have to stay busy. You got to stay busy. You got to
I
stay.
get it. I understand where you're coming from. I understand the place
I,
you're
I,
coming
I,
from
I,
with
got-
that.
I got you. I got you. I got you.
See,
But
heck,
yeah,
we was it's like we was where I used to have his personal number. He could have been like, "Hey, DJ, I just lost my dad, but I'm gonna still do the show." We could have worked it out, and I would have been more considerate. But
no, it's okay, guys. It's okay. But beyond all of the doom and gloom and sad stuff, released I think 2 EPs since I've been on the show. The Whirlpool EP came out in February. We charted at 212, got all the way as high as number 46.
Nice.
That EP is actually almost platinum now on Spotify.
Oh,
We also just released She's a Lady, June 9th. So we're 2 months into the She's a Lady rollout. Video has been streamed close to like 50,000 times already so far. Album is actually selling, I mean, 10 times faster than anything that I've ever put out. So it's a really good period for me, but it's also a transitional period, dealing with all of this family stuff as well. But that's what makes the work that more important for me, but also to keep honoring not only my mother's memory, but my father's legacy as well. So that's why I'm here. So
absolutely, man. I just want to commend you for just having that integrity and that structure to keep. You know what I'm saying? Keep your head up high because you know what they instilled in you. But then you also know, yeah, I'm in mourning, but the way I can deal. A lot of people are built different. Like, because I'm one of them people too. Like, okay, I can still go through what I got to go through, even though I know that people are going to be sympathetic and they're going to tell me to sit down. You can't do this. You can't do that right now. But it's like, no, in order for me to get through it, because I know they would want me to get through it, is to keep doing what I got to do and put on a happy face. And then when I'm off camera, then I can, do my woo sob and then have that moment to commemorate that memory. So I just want to say that we at Who They Want are here for you and in your corner.
I certainly appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So you making room. So you making room for those future platinum plaques.
Oh well, there's my So Below there behind me there. I'm
See what I'm saying? I already
actually
letting you know.
Man, if we could zoom in, if we could zoom in right now, that's what we would be doing. Like, oh, show that off.
But things have been really really good. The She's a Lady EP has been doing really phenomenal. That EP has 4 different mixes of She's a Lady. So I have my traditional radio edit, have my club mix, which keeps it spicy for the clubs. And then I also have my my funky touch mix, which is like my get down record. So it's a more organic Latin house type vibe. There's a lot of congas. When I hear that record and even recording it, I was sort of heavily inspired by my gosh, I hate referencing older people sometimes because then that makes me feel like ancient. But yeah, it funky touch mix, right? We were talking about, sorry. Yes. Funky touch mix, and then I also have Paul's New Mood, which is dedicated to Paul Anka, the writer of She's a Lady, and then also my engineer, Paul Murphy. Shout out to Paul Murphy out there.
Big up, big up. Nah, when it comes to talking music, you know what I'm saying? I can honestly say it feels good when I've created what I've created with content and podcasting, meeting so many artists. So when we do talk to like some of the indie artists, you know what I'm saying? It's good that I can bring up like your name as a reference because you like are a very inspiring artist to me. You know what I'm saying? To actually know you on a different level outside of just the music growth of things. But it's just like when because you taught me out of how to structure the ship, how to keep things running, who to put in your circle, who to let out your circle. That's things you've instilled in me for this past 2 to 3 years we've known each other. And then still seeing your accolades and seeing the growth makes me proud because it's not like what I'm saying. I'm not one of them people that gotta go, yeah, that's him. He was on my podcast. You know how you try to use it for accreditation. It's just like I know him. I had a chance to interview him, and I love to see that every time I see something flash up with your name, it's you still excelling. And you stay in my EDM playlist. Like I literally have an EDM playlist. So when like I be like playing World Go Round, you know what I'm saying? Then I got this Dantès song on loop. Like I'm still on like New Jack City. That's just to show you how much I love
Well,
what you do.
thank you.
So now I got to get in the new loop and add that into the EDM mix for this weekend. Because when you're in Houston, there's things that could just randomly pop up, and you be like, I need to have playlists ready. You never know what the vibe's gonna be, but you definitely make sure you got something that's in the loop for anybody's vibe.
Well, the most important thing I think for me is just to make music that that feels good. The Whirlpool EP as well as the She's a Lady EP. I'm sort of in this period now sonically where I want to cover people and pay respects and homage to people who've inspired me. And both of these records, Whirlpool, is a Seal record. I love Seal, no disrespect to Seal, but this record is really my record.
There you go.
I mean, it is my record. When you search for Whirlpool on Spotify, I'm the first. I'm at the at the top tier of that of that list when you search for it, just because the song has done so well. And thankfully, also that because we were able to get Cubico to do the house remix on the EP. So and that's what actually has really taken that project to another level. And you mentioned New Jack City, and New Jack City actually just celebrated its 2-year anniversary. The first album, what was that, back in June, and it's actually now approaching 1 million streams cumulatively between all the tracks.
Nice.
Just a clap for that. Like that's elevation.
So and Whirlpool, don't quote me, is actually selling faster than the New Jack City EP was, because people now actually know who I am. It took 2 years for the New Jack City project, the first album, to get to those numbers, and now the Whirlpool EP, and subsequently my latest release, She's a Lady, they're selling faster than that. And I just think that's probably just a testament to how hard I'm I try not to read my comments and listen to what people tell me in my inbox, and I appreciate all of your wonderful comments, DJ, of course, but all of that stuff sometimes can be poison to the head. And
Mhm.
I try to just live as simply a normal life as possible, because I am as normal. Well, what is normal? But as
Exactly.
normal as normal as a life as I possibly can. Um, you know, accolades don't pay bills. They're just accolades. But what I have and what I've worked for, I'm very grateful for, and I'm thankful for all of you guys. And so,
Eh. It's beautiful. It's beautiful that number one, we get to talk to you again, and number two, that we see that you're doing well on your journey. I gotta ask you a fun question.
hmm.
Since the type of genre you're in, people are. It's about the vibe. It's about the party vibe, right? It's not even just. So, when you're making these mixes, which ones are usually your favorite?
Mm.
You know what? Good question. See, now this is the first time that I actually get to sound like a douche, but I didn't handle that. This project was actually released on Store Disco Records. Shout out to Funk Investigation. You may have heard their name on some famous mixes by Simply Red, George Michael, blah 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 blah. Whatever. I don't want to be like the name dropper either. But that was completely like this is completely out of my hand. But how I personally, go about choosing mixes is it's kind of hard, and that's why, shout out to Funk Investigation again. There's, with each project that, I've released, this year, I put out 4 different mixes
Mm.
for, 4 different crowds. I'm an R&B guy. I'm born, bred, and even though I'm a dance music artist or a house artist or whatever, I'm born, bred Teddy Pendergrass, Drew Hill,
Yep.
all those types of guys, which is the foundation for all of my music, which helps me sort of select the songs that which are out now. So that's why I think people generally tend to release more than one mix, because my Paul's New Mood mix, for example, I'm not sure if you guys have listened to that mix on the EP, but that
Mhm.
mix is more or less a vibe that my mother or my grandmother would enjoy. It's very 60s inspired. It's got the horns, it's got the drums. It's very Tom Jones traditional, R&B 70s, Funky Touch. That mix is for a little more disco-y. There's more conga drums in there. There's more breaks.
Mm.
And of course, there's that radio, the radio edit and the club mix. The radio edit is short, simple, and sweet. You know,
Mhm.
and the club mix is just an extended version of the radio edit, just harder, faster, more intro, more outro, more sexiness. Did I answer that correctly?
You, dude, that was great, man. Hey, don't even worry about it. I'm the type of person that can go off into one topic and then have to segue back to where I was before. So don't even worry.
Right.
Don't even worry one bit about it.
I,
So,
I felt like I did, so I just wanted to make sure.
no, I understand. I was able to follow it, so we're good.
Cool.
We're good. I was able to follow it without getting too off kilter. You know what I'm saying?
Because he's
So,
always humble, right? He can take you there. Like he said, it's not about, yeah, I can name drop a bunch of accredited names, but, this ain't that time period for it. It's the humbleness that I feel like, because you can meet some artists that do get super arrogant and just, you know what I'm saying? I got all these names, so I should be sitting on the throne. It's like, nah, I'm gonna take it and build my ladder slowly but surely. Whoever is on the boat is on the boat. And if some people got to jump off the boat, then you just got to jump off, but it's going to keep going. And that's one thing that I love about you. You know what I'm saying? Just with your artistry versus you as a human being. It's just that level of humbleness where you can take the achievements, but like you said, the achievements ain't paying the bills, so I got to keep going.
Exactly. But it's just a joy and a privilege just to be able to do what I like to do for a living. And when I say that,
right.
I really mean that. Like, um, I don't have to go to work for anybody else anymore. I don't have to punch a clock for anybody anymore. I'm blessed in that regard. A lot of people may wonder what it is. How does Dantès pay his bills? Well, Dantès pays his bills because Dantès has paid his dues, and Dantès has arrived. And so that's how Dantès pays his bills.
I love that. That response, nothing else needs to be said with that.
I see you got him speaking in the third person.
Well, I mean, like DJ said, that's how I separate the Dantès from who I am as a person, and if any of my fans and people who know me personally, if you look through a lot of my social media or anything like that, you see I don't really talk a lot about personal things or share dating or whatnot, because that's for me.
That's for you. That's nobody else's.
That's for me. And also what's for me is when I walk around and I look like like I just, excuse my French, I've been rolling around in piss. No one will ever see me with the full beard. You see what I'm saying? There's a separation. There's a separation between and it's like that for a lot of other people. I saw Philip Bloch a few weeks ago, and I didn't know who the heck he was because he had a full beard, looking like a mountain man and crap.
Shocked you a minute.
Yeah, but we know him from interviewing celebrities on the carpet, looking very polished, and so we have to remember that what we see is presentation. It's presentation. It's a level of polish. I can't just show up looking any kind of way. I mean, so yeah.
You know what I wish we could like with celebrities in general, especially with the way social media is, the fact that we feel like we're more connected, but we're only because we get responses from them direct immediately now, as opposed to having to read it always in a magazine or wait a month until they drop months until they drop an album or a movie or whatever part of entertainment they're in. Some people feel like they're entitled, like fans. They have that entitlement about them when it comes to, what type of person are they dating? What type of music are they doing? Are they doing now? Who are they working with? Who are they? Who are they with? Like personally, blah blah blah. I'm like, it's none of your business. They're still people. That's what we got to remember. They're still people.
Yeah. And and I think that when I first started in this business, I think that was one of the easiest things for me to understand. Understanding that these people are just like me, and we all have the same problems, and got mortgages to pay, and bills to pay, and rent to pay. So it at the end of the day, we all are marching towards God, I don't want to sound so somber, but in the end, we all are marching towards the end. And during that time, from the beginning to the end, you have to be the best thing that you possibly can be. And everybody is good at something. So if you are a musician, you're going to strive to be the best that you can be, because you don't know when you may, you know what I mean? It's the same thing for if you're, a radio host or whatever, or podcast host, whatever. You want to just be the best at that, and that is your gift, whatever that is, just be the best at it. There's nothing wrong with, having an honest living and being the best at what it is that you do, because in the end, that's what's going to garner you the respect, is people saying, that's the best part. I want him to make my sandwich because he makes the best sandwiches. Am I wrong or am I right?
Man,
you're right. We look for that.
Man, no, and that's exactly what's gonna happen when I'm done with this. I'm about to eat like because I was supposed to have dinner, but I ended up having dinner late because I couldn't decide what I wanted until the last minute. And next thing you know, I get a call from Steady. So
like, it's go time. Clock in. Let's go.
That was all that was all on me. I was supposed to eat at 6. I didn't even end up eating until like 7:30, almost 8 o'clock.
It's okay. Look, we all can starve together.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. You feel me? It's about that. I'm like, it's Friday. We can have a little late night, matinee, catch us a good movie vibe, and just go.
Yeah,
exactly.
it's okay. Have a little cookie, a little milk, a little late. Ain't nobody got to know.
Yeah, that might be a good
Straight up.
idea. Yeah, that does
This is
sound
why
like
I
that sounds
enjoy
like a good idea.
conversations with Dantès though, because Dantès is not one of them people that you could put on a podcast and you got to be uptight and you got to get a piece of paper printed out like ask this, ask. It's just having human conversation. Like we've never had to be, and he taught me that like the first interview of like, bro, just enjoy the time. Whatever you want to ask, just ask. If I'm uncomfortable, he'll stop me in my track. I'm like, all right, now steady. We can talk about that after the show is done. But right now, we gonna roll with punch.
Oh man. So, but like as far as as far as like when you're not in the studio, which seems like it seems like that's where you are most of the most of the time, just getting stuff just getting stuff ready. But what are you doing in your spare time, if you have any?
To be honest with you, my spare time has sort of revolved into music, entertainment, media. It seems like it's never ending. To be honest with you, I don't know. A good question. Oh, you know what? Oh, I sound so bad. Oh, I don't want to say this, but okay. So y'all out there, Dantès had an Xbox One forever. Like, see, I'm one of those people that will forever hold on to something just because of the sentimental value. And I held on to that damn thing. Excuse me. Can we say that on this show?
Yeah.
Okay. Can we clear that? Okay. I just hold on to stuff. And I remember buying the Xbox One in like 2000, I think it was like 10, 11, something like that. And I'm just like, hey, I got a, 65-inch screen, plasma TV. So it's all about the TV and never mind the hardware. So I just finally bought a brand new, Xbox One XS, and I have enjoyed thoroughly killing people.
We get the context.
I have thoroughly enjoyed killing people, especially Hitman. I have enjoyed blowing people up. I have enjoyed throwing shurikens at their heads. I have enjoyed shooting them in the heads because that is how I have felt. So it's nice to have a video game where I can take their frustration out.
That response was priceless.
So not.
I've been playing a lot of first-person shooters. Look, I've been playing. Look. See, I'm good. Y'all better watch out now. If my gamer, y'all don't want none. It's Moratory Chimp 76.
Oh man, I don't play first-person. I suck at first-person shooters, kid. So
look, if y'all on Fortnite, you want to get a quick headshot to the dome, come talk to me. If you want to get killed or sniped in Call of Duty, I can do that there too. So
do you go by? Do you have a? do you use your name as your gamer tag, or do you have a different?
Oh no! It's just Moratory Chimp. Moratory Chimp 76.
See, that's the element of surprise, because now you ain't even gonna know it's him taking out his frustration.
Oh man, but it's funny. Like in my friends list, I have a lot of other famous friends or whatever, and we just whenever we have time, we all pop our headsets on and just kill the shit out of each other. Excuse me. So
I love it. No, man, that's dope. That's incredible.
So yeah,
let me know how human he is again. Like we downtime, we're gonna hook the Xbox up, get on the group chat. All right, everybody plug in. I'm sniping everybody before this game starts.
Serious.
I'm letting you know.
Serious. Yeah, because I mean, that's the great thing about the internet. It brings everybody together. So
it brings everybody together in good and bad ways. Because I've been like my little brother at one point was a big big gamer. Still is for the most part, but he plays a lot of sports. But I remember one time he was staying over, and he brought his Xbox over to my place, hooked it up to my projector. My projector has speakers, right? Mm-hmm. So as he's playing, I think he wasn't playing Fortnite. He was playing the other one, but I heard him and his boys going back and forth, and they just cussing up a storm. And at the time, he was like 14. So I was like, y'all, for real? That's what's going on right now? You do realize this is virtual, right? Like, what you do, put money on this or something? The way that they were talking,
Yeah.
But it's funny sometimes because most of the time, if I ever catch myself playing a video game these days, I'm making sure it's not online. I'll go retro because I'm feeling nostalgic.
But to
Right.
be honest with you though, it's been so nice to do that because when you're preparing for a release, there's so much stuff that goes into the release before the release actually comes out. So I, shooting videos and doing all of that stuff. So, now, I'm in between, preparing for, my concert that I'm having in October. I'm
Nice.
Playing. Oh, if you guys get to Chicago, of course you guys you're invited and you guys can have a +1. So
Okay.
That would be dope. That would be dope. But I've never been to Chicago.
Oh, you're not missing much. It looks like any other city, except we're not as dirty as New York.
I've been to New York. I've never been to Chicago. A few places I still got to have on my bucket list. I've never been to the West Coast.
Well, Chicago is actually a very nice place, despite what is on the news.
Right.
It's a very architectural, rich, diverse. Look, I sound like I'm talking about fauna or plant or some shit. But it's a very diverse, place. It's literally a melting pot of, all of the best foods. Being in the second city, so you have, a huge theater, community here. I've done a lot of, work here, theater wise, even, film work, so Chicago is really a good place. And even, like I said, food wise, because we're sort of almost down by the South, but not quite by the South, so we got good barbecue and, we got the Bulls, even though they suck right now. I'm sorry, y'all. Don't kill me. We love them and support them. And then the Bears, unfortunately, are talking about leaving Chicago and going to Arlington Heights, which is not the same as Chicago. So to everyone out there who says you are from somewhere, and if you're from a suburb, please do not say you are from the city. That's all. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Hold on. Where did that come from?
I went to a party last night, and there was so she was like, "Oh, I'm from New York. I'm from New York. New York. And I'm like, "Oh, okay. Where are you from?" She's like, "I'm from Buffalo." I'm like, "Okay, that's cool, but where are you really from?" And she was like, "Oh, I'm from Ipswich." I said, "Okay, so you're not near like any city. Buffalo is a city. New York is a city. I'm just saying that's like a nice quaint suburb. It's not the city."
So why do you think she didn't tell you where she was from to begin with?
I don't know why people do that. That's just something that people do, to I guess to possibly make themselves look good when they're in a crowd of people. Like that's just that leftover high school stuff that people do. Oh
yeah,
because Steady and I and one of our peoples, we were talking about that just a couple nights ago. Some drama was going on in Florida, and we were cracking on Florida a good chunk of the first half of the conversation.
Florida.
Steady had to tell him, look, he doesn't represent all of Florida. He just represents Quincy, Florida.
that's it. That's all I've always represented. When you say Florida, I'd be like Quincy, Florida. That's as far as I go. You be like, well, I went to that's Fort Lauderdale. That's Fort Myers. That's down south. Like I don't associate with whatever go on down south.
Well, I'm just, I wasn't saying that to like, be mean to anybody, but I just
but I get where you're coming from.
I just noticed that people do that. Like
I'm not. Look, I'm not from Elgin. I live in Chicago. I'm not from Aurora. I live in Chicago.
It's the same thing because if you talk about Atlanta, and if you don't know what zones, you don't know what part, they will tell you quick that's not Atlanta. Like there's Atlanta, and then there's real Atlanta.
Yeah, it's the same, but Chicago is a wonderful place, though. I would encourage all of your viewers to come to Chicago and see our fair city. We have some good, amazing landmarks.
Yep.
Locals do not eat deep dish pizza. That is for tourists.
That's right. Yo, I was gonna ask you that question because I heard that on another podcast recently.
Yeah.
So
that's not for us.
So that's not really a thing for y'all. That's just for the tourists.
No, most of us here in Chicago prefer a nice thin crust like everybody else does. I mean, we don't even like New York style pizza because that's still too much. You got to flop that thing over,
man.
That's the cheese with it, and
I'm 2 hours away from New York, right? Because I live in Connecticut. I'm 2 hours away from New York. Most people that talk about pizza, they always say New York, Connecticut. That's where they get their pizza. Even people in like Philadelphia, they'll tell you. Even the ones that live there their entire lives, they will be like, nah,
I'm not into square pizza. I mean, I'm not into the square like type. I mean, Philly's got that square thing going on with their pizza. Detroit's got that too, where their pizza's like like fat, like. I mean, you know what I'm saying? They like
brick style, that brick style pizza.
That's
we have an abundance of pizza places around here, so we got so many. We got like where I am specifically, we have pizza places and Dunkin' Donuts, and just everywhere. It's just you walk outside. I live only like less than a block away from a Dunkin' Donuts and a pizza place right across from my apartment building, and they're good.
That sounds like a good place to be.
It's a local pizza place, and then there's a chain. There's a Domino's pizza place right a few minutes away from it, right next to a dentist office. I don't know how that works, but I feel like when they move there, I'm like they might have struck a deal with each other. Like, okay, look. You have the customers come to me for the pizza, and I send them to you for dental work. I'm like,
it's a trade-off.
It's a trade-off.
No, it's like where I'm from back home in Quincy, right? We had a McDonald's, and then like right next door to McDonald's is a Burger King, and then like a few blocks down there's like a Taco Bell. Now they just put like a Sonic and a Popeyes, and I'm like, why you put a Popeyes across the street from a KFC? So it's like y'all be putting these little opposite chains, like y'all want to start chain wars in a small little town.
Yeah, the fast food war.
Yeah,
that's a thing. No, that's a thing.
Now look. See, now that couldn't be. That's all types of problems. Diabetes, all types. Look, I'm just going right down the line every day. I'm starting on my day with the donut. I'm working down the line to Popeyes for lunch.
Exactly.
Right.
And it's literally in that one little walking distance square. Like you can. You'd be like, Mama be like, I'm gonna go to this Winn-Dixie a few blocks down, so I'm gonna drop y'all off at the Pizza at Rat Hill. And in that meantime, you think they're at the Pizza, they done walked to the Popeyes because it's just that close.
Yeah.
You ever seen a Kentucky Hut?
But if you live if you live in a neighborhood where there's actually stuff, grocery stores, restaurants, you are blessed because so many of us, don't have that around and have to go travel really, really far for food. So
Amen. And I wouldn't want to do that, especially with inflation being the way it is right now.
Yeah, it's bad. It's
you gotta spend money on gas, and then you got like 30 minutes or an hour into the city to go go and get. It's only I've only experienced that going to like the Carolinas because I got family over there. And when we had to shop, I noticed how far we had to go from their house to the city to go out and and just get some food. And I'm like, you know what? I like it here, but I can't see myself living here. There's a lot of space here, but I guess I'm used to the.
Yeah, you just
Man, but how has that been working out for you with everything, with all these prices going up and all this other just crap going on in the world?
Well, I've actually been forced to cook at home more, which is not a bad thing because as we were talking about fast food, in that same breath that that same $10 hamburger that you pay for is not as good as that hamburger that you can make from home by yourself.
That's exactly what I was making before I got up here.
see, look, you're gonna invite me over. Look,
Oh no, man, they were
Burgers at Kyle's this weekend. Got it. We're gonna go ahead and book our itinerary.
nah, they were veggie burgers, bro.
We don't even care. We just happy to fellowship.
No, I need some meat. I don't know about that. Look.
Wow. Okay.
Sorry, we eat meat.
Chickpeas ain't bad. Trust me.
We eat meat over
I love
here.
it.
But I've been, just cooking a lot more. I enjoy cooking. It's nice to cook. I didn't cook yesterday. My partner cooked yesterday, so I didn't have to cook. But yeah, I like to eat.
Yep, that's still the same old Dantès. Then nothing has changed. He's never going to get Hollywood on us, ladies and gentlemen.
Did we ever ask what your favorite
and,
food was?
And look, and if you're lucky enough, you might be able to catch a plate of mine.
Word.
So,
I'm with it.
Yeah.
I like to eat, and food is always it's always been a tool of fellowship, for human beings, and that's just one of the ways that I express my love. Say, hey, I love you. What's up? I'm fortunate enough to have a friend who is like a sister to live very, very close to me, like next door, just about. And I made a pound cake, actually a walnut pound cake, a couple of weeks ago, and I brought that over there to her. And then I think a few days ago, or I think that was a couple of weeks ago, she had made some pancakes and sent some pancakes back over here. So
I mean, that's a nice equivalent exchange right there.
Well, I mean, I'm a little patting the bill, what can I say?
Yeah.
No, that's respect, though. I love that.
So you bake too?
Oh, I throw down and look. I smother, cover, bake. Like,
all right, Kyle, we're transitioning to Dantès instead of your crib.
Right. This is like this is like what I do when I'm home.
Now, see, that's what he does. I don't. I can barely cook. So.
Oh, see, no, that's not acceptable because there's things that I want to eat. Like, I like meatloaf. I love meatloaf. Like really good meatloaf. Spaghetti. Fried chicken. I can fry pretty much anything. Like, I mean, if you can't fry anything, then you're a terrible person. And no, I'm not using the air fryer. Sorry. Well, I mean, no shade, for the people who use the air fryers, but I mean, I want fried chicken. I don't want microwave chicken because that's what an air fryer is. So to all of the people out there that don't know that, the air fryer is not actually new technology. It's actually been around for a while. And you have a big box in your kitchen called a microwave, and that's basically what you're doing to your chicken is you microwave chicken. Sorry, y'all. I don't know.
There's a bubble on that one.
But yeah, I in my private life, I do a lot of cooking. I think I have that in common probably with in my previous life. I probably was Italian because I do a lot of I try and do a lot of produce, inspired type, meals. Still smother and cover though, because I gotta have my, shoot. I'm thinking about some smothered pork chops right now. Look, they probably
see, we're all hungry right now, and we're just on this food right now, and you just
look, DJ. They're gonna be like, look, I like Dantès when he was small. They're gonna do me like I'm Luther. But at least I can sing. So that's all.
There you go. That's all that's going to count. The weight man picked up, that voice is still, he can hold notes longer now with that little extra little. That's how the media going to get you.
Like, like I said, I like to eat, and food is meant to be enjoyed. You can enjoy, whatever you like to enjoy, within moderation. But we do a lot of cooking, in this house. There's a lot of cooking, a lot of art. My spouse is an avid puzzler.
That's relaxing. It can be.
Yeah, well,
backtrack 30 seconds. No, he didn't just say my spouse. So you weren't gonna tell me about this, man. So now I done missed a lot in a couple of little syndics of
Oh, wait a minute.
time. Now we got spouses.
I didn't say anything other than, spouse is just a nice way of saying,
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure because I'm like, I didn't get no invitations. Like I could have did a whole podcast reception or something.
Now
I don't know.
if I did get married, truly, I wouldn't tell anybody. So
Exactly, because that's how he is.
Keep it
Very
under
private on
keep it under wraps, and then just do what just come out.
I
with
wouldn't tell anybody anyway.
Yeah,
so that's just.
So I gotta know: are you still managing any artists right now on the label, or are you just rocking it with doing what you got to do moving forward with the shit?
Well, of course, I still, I have my label, and I still have my artists. My projects are coming out, right now with Store Disco. I'm, in a very collaborative, heavy period right now. I've worked with Funk Investigation and Hinka now for the last half year now on these projects and bringing these projects to you guys that everybody loves and is streaming and eating up. Everybody go check both of those EPs out. But it's nice for me to focus on being able to provide the best Dantès that I can provide for my fans, to give them the best music, to provide them with, the best shows, the best, visuals, and working with, Funk Investigation and Hinka, Italy and Belgium. So this really is a worldwide, collaboratory, effort, and it's paid off dividends. And it's, like I said, it's allowed me to even, become an even stronger artist. And it certainly doesn't help to, hurt to, work with people who know what they're doing. So, and, three heads are better than one. So
there you go. That's beautiful. Is there any, like, we know what you're doing coming out with these EPs and everything else. Is there anybody else on the label you think we should look out for?
Well, on my label, because remember, again, I'm releasing through Store Disco, which is out in Italy.
Right.
Shout out to the boys again. But Two Watch has actually been on DJ's show previously. Right. So he released an album at the beginning of the year. When you're an independent artist, you have to learn how to take the successes that you get. And for me, and I'm sure for him, probably one of the successes that he had was the Island of Belize actually picked up one of his singles.
Oh, nice.
For a ad campaign. So yeah, so you guys should go check out Two Watch.
That's dope.
Excuse me, two as in two, WATCH. That's Two Watch. So yeah, that is really the only person that I work with and release music through my label. But other than that, just trying to focus on what Dantès has on his plate, because Dantès is cat. So much on my plate. It's very difficult to be a successful artist and to be at this level and to actually manage and guide other people's careers. I'm working with him on a consultancy type basis just to help him maximize his opportunities. He's a very, very talented guy, and you guys should go check him out. So
absolutely, shout out to Two Watches.
Yeah, shout out to Two Watch. But besides that, radio show is coming back on WSBC 1240 this fall, so I can get rid of the remainder of the Access Lakeshore Drive episodes. And I say get rid of gladly, because I've been sitting on these fabulous episodes now for I think the last 6 months, so I can release music and do videos and all of that all that stuff. So that'll be returning, and then we'll also be releasing for the first time the Tales from the Sixth Dimension on DVD. Time
Okay.
for Halloween, which stars me, Mark Holton, and Ashley L. And we'll be filming. Excuse me, not filming. We'll be recording another Halloween episode quite soon. And then outside of that, I've got a bunch of more music coming, of course. Like I said, I'm sort of in a collaborative heavy period right now. And cover heavy period right now. I just want to, do a lot of covers. So you guys eventually probably hear some Wishing Well by Dantès, not Terrence Trent D'Arby, but Dantès. You'll also be hearing Only a Fool Would Say That by Steely Dan. To be honest with everyone out there, I did not know a whole lot about Steely Dan because, I listen to a lot of R&B music. But I like Steely Dan. Steely Dan's pretty cool. They're similar to like America. And if you guys don't know who America is, they did Horse with No Name. I'm not going to sing, but sort of soft rock, 70s, sounding soft rock. And I also have a Teddy Pendergrass song that I covered as well. That'll Do Me, which is one of my favorite records by him. It's a great record. It's wonderful. And then and I'm still hoping and praying, that I can still, collaborate with some other artists. I'm hoping and praying that I can get a collaboration with, Aunt Shirley Jones from the Jones Girls. That would be an amazing, amazing thing. Who knows?
Did you see the interview we had with her?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Right. Let you know. Yes,
we got a chance to talk to her not too long ago. Her and we got a chance to talk to her and the legacy, the Jones,
her son and her nephew.
Cam
and her nephew. They have a group together.
Cam, right?
And Cam. Look, they just great people all around.
They're really nice.
The Duchess was fangirling out. It was a beautiful time because we basically got to interview them, do separate interviews with them back to back. And after listening to the new stuff that they got, it's like, guys, really, I'm glad we were able to connect.
Yeah, she is, she's a phenomenal talent, and I am very, very, very honored, to have her as have her and her family as a friend. When they, found out that my mother died, they were the first to, send condolences, to me. So shout out to her family and Miss Shirley Jones. So that's some of my, my hopes and dreams for artistic collaborations. Oh, and then also Anaya Day. I love Anaya Day. I've had her on my show. I think I had her on my show last year. So I'm actually, if she sees this, I'm actually going to slide in her DM because I want to record a version of All About Me. Maya and Cisco, you remember that record that they did? Yeah. Her name's Anaya. Maya. Get it? Okay. All right. So that's what I like. Yeah. So I'm gonna reach out to Miss Anaya Day. Miss Anaya, if you're watching, if you see this, I'm gonna send you a message.
I'm like, I can see that you really don't have, like, even in free time mode, you still doing some networking and just handling some business.
He just waiting for the next project.
Well, I mean, there's always stuff going on.
Yeah, right.
I don't know if it's necessarily just, looking for the next project, because we don't necessarily wait for people to hand us projects. We create things.
I'm just saying, like, in your head, not waiting for people, not waiting for people to hand you projects, but for your, for your mind to come up with the next, like, who's the next person I want to work with, or what is this, what's the next song I'm writing, or,
yeah. There's always the creative process going on. Sometimes, you may have things that you haven't finished, that you've started and you haven't finished, and you just say, oh, okay. You may be playing something, and you may say, oh, okay, well, this piece that I wrote for this record actually can fit for this record. So it's like a endless process, and sometimes it's hard to actually turn it off because you're always in tune and you're always trying to process. But I think I think it just comes with time. You learn how to shut your brain down and just um,
Yeah.
chill.
So are you still gonna dabble back into the video game world, or is that still something
Oh,
on your to do list?
well, right now, we probably won't be putting out another video game for a while. Um,
Okay.
just because I don't want to release a video game just for the sake of releasing a video game. It has to fit in the Dantès sphere.
Mhm.
I may do a New Jack City 2, who knows. But right now, no plans for any. That was a limited edition type thing. So um, with content being removed consistently from platforms like Netflix and Spotify and all these things, I would encourage all of my fans and listeners and anyone else out there who appreciates Dantès to possibly go pirate that, so you always have a copy of that.
Love it.
Yeah. But no, you've done music. You're right now. Your career is going the way. Is this is it going the way you thought it was going to go, or better?
Yeah, you know what? To be honest with you, I think I get asked this question a lot, but um, if I would have thought, or truly guessed, as a child that I would, have the blessings that I do have, and even know the people that I know, and just to be able to do what I do, I would probably say you're lying. I would probably say you're lying. So to be honest with you, it's going a heck of a lot better than I expected. But like everything else, seeds don't become trees overnight,
True.
and it takes a lot of hard work to and I certainly I don't consider myself to be an A-list artist by any means. I would consider myself as some a normal mid-tier independent artist. But even just to get to the level that I'm at, it's taken a great deal of work and sacrifice. There's a lot of
Mhm.
sacrifice. You know, I am and I'm apologizing to everybody on your show, and I've actually never done this, but there are so many people out here who probably hate me and think I'm so flaky and so shady because, I never could find the time to separate myself from what it was that I was doing to hang
Uh,
out and, and to try and, develop relationships, and be a better friend, to people. But because you're
mhm.
always, you're always working, momentum doesn't stop. A wheel doesn't stop,
Yeah.
and so that's why, you have to keep going. And again, to circle back to, my mother and my father passing again with that, saying the wheel does not stop. The wheel does not stop. A wheel is always ever moving, and you
Mhm.
always have to be on the move. And if you're willing to, move, then you will have great things. But life never happens for anybody who isn't in rotation.
No, that's some jewels right there, like for real. Because it'd be a lot of hardship. Like for me, moving, from Florida to Texas was a transition of my own. Of life got to keep moving. I can't stop.
Yep.
I'm creating new goals as an independent now, as opposed to putting others ahead of myself. So now it's just like, okay, now what does Stedman want to focus on? And I'm like, okay, I want to focus on my health more. I want to, be able to be more creative with the podcast and, introduce new ideas. Not saying I couldn't do it before, but now I can really, be able to put my vision board together without it being knocked over or saying, okay,
Right.
I gotta, make this sacrifice for the greater good or something else. So I'm in a better mental space now, and the drive just got to keep going. I touch bases with those who touch bases with me, and to the
Mhm.
rest, it's just like your distraction right now, and I'm not in a position to be distracted anymore.
And it's it's always like that. When you first get started, you just have to have your tunnel vision, your tunnel vision about what it is that you're doing. Some people may think you're self-centered, but as the legendary RuPaul says, if them bitches ain't paying your bills, pay them no mind.
Simple. And that's what, you made me rethink about it when you said what you said. Because again, we've never been out of touch because I'm forever still getting an Instagram update or something that's gonna flag my way that says, "Hey DJ, new singles out. Make sure you stream this album." Like I'm just still in the loop, even if it's your team presenting it to me. I'm just humble and thankful that I'm still considered in that list of my people's got to know that hey, I'm still making noise. That's why when I see articles come up now, I'm like, oh, so this is why I haven't heard from. It's because you are in a busy state, but you're not super busy to where you can't just say, I'm just peeking in and say hi. Like we've never been like that out of touch. And that's just coming from I know what level of friendship that we have built through the years, versus business versus person.
Yeah, absolutely. Great.
Man, that's great. I'm over here thinking about pizza again, but
we ain't gonna be there too much longer because everybody want to go get their grub on. You know what I'm saying?
No, because I remember at one point the first time we met, right? He said something about he said something about the 1990s Ninja Turtles movie, and now the new and now the new one is out, and now I'm just
I can't. Well, I'm gonna say like I'm gonna be like classic TMNT, right? Like like people in a suit like TMNT, right?
It's always gonna be there.
I'm still I'm this old. Look, y'all, I'm this old.
They both had anniversaries, right? They both.
If I could show you the rest, like I have shelves and shelves full of Power Rangers.
I believe you. Did you see that anniversary special on Netflix?
I did, and it was very hard to watch. And excuse me for saying this, but it was just very hard to watch. Just very hard to watch because, it's like accepting the fact that you have grown up,
right?
And you have to, you like. I was looking at David Yoss, like, damn, dude, you look like you're about 55, but he is because that was like 30 years ago.
Right. Whereas the actor who plays Zach, he pretty much you could tell he got older, but he doesn't look that much older. And
stop! You have to make that reference.
I was gonna say because where we going with
crack. You had to do the black don't crack.
I was just gonna say, where we have to say now, everybody.
It's just because they were the main. The two of them were the main focus. So besides Trini's daughter for this, so I'm like, you could tell there was a difference, but I'm glad that they did it.
I got a white ranger and a green ranger somewhere around here. Got to find them. But yeah, man, so yeah, you guys just found something else out about me that
I already knew because I remember our first conversation. So I was like, 90s kid.
See, yeah. So I'm all about. I love my my 90s toys and movies and and all that stuff because it just makes you feel comfortable.
It makes you feel comfortable. It makes you like everybody has something that makes them feel nostalgic.
Yeah.
Because we are the ones that it's getting to be our turn to be the older generation now. A lot of the stuff that we grew up on is coming back again. So it's just weird. No, it's just weird when it comes back again. But you know why it's. I think I know why it's weird. I think I know why it's weird for me. Because when the stuff that our parents and their parents, when their stuff came back, there was no social media, right? So nobody was going on blogs and saying, "Hey, look at this cool new radio I found," or the colors on this, colors on this jacket. I literally saw somebody on TikTok say there should be just a phone for the house, and I'm like, there was.
It's called a house
still exists.
There was called a house phone, and there was a gatekeeper, usually your mom or dad.
Exactly.
Right.
That's the thing. Like I have no.
It was the original call waiting. They will hold it down and let you know it was time to get off the phone.
Exactly. Everybody's got a time limit.
You hear it? Look, hey,
money for the phone
y'all.
bill.
Remember, hey, now you got to get off the line at 10 o'clock now. I'm expecting a really important call.
Oh yeah.
I was lucky to have my own phone by the time I was I was around 17 or 18. We had enough to get a second phone line. But
those were good days.
Still, there was I still had time. I couldn't be on the phone, so.
Right. Now I remember my cousin was mad at me because I had a cell phone that worked before he did. So he'd be like, "Man, your mom let you have a phone?" I was like, "Yeah." And at that time, I think Boost was just hitting his peak of unlimited everything, as opposed to the free after 9 from everybody else. I'm like, you got to wait till after 9 to make a call, and I can make calls all day.
I remember that, free nights and weekends. Yeah,
man. I remember when cell phones were becoming more common. I didn't ask for one. I just noticed that people around me were getting them and asking me when I was getting one. Next thing you know, my parents gave me one. But the reason why they gave me one is because I had a job. It was a volunteer job at a hospital. Still, I was there for 2 to 3 hours, and I needed to call them to get a ride. That was the only reason I had the cell phone.
Yeah.
Singular.
I think singular. Yeah, and then I remember Prime Code too. That was a while ago.
Oh, Nextel. I missed the walkie-talkie function. It was, to me, that was the coolest.
Some of that stuff I feel like was ahead of its time. Like looking, because they tried to revive it like a few years back, and I guess it still wasn't picking up. Like, nah, it missed. It had its day.
Hey, flip phones are back, but they don't do well on battery. I'm
sure.
Yeah, I don't think I can go back to a flip phone. It just seems it just seems retarded for my person. Now, if you've never had one, then yes. If you're one of the little Gen Zers, yes, I encourage you to get a flip phone just so you can feel what you were missing. So you can.
These flip phones have extra stuff. It's like.
I still don't want a flip phone. Like, I want my phone big, fat. That's I just
makes you feel like a boss when you be able to pull it out and you got the extra protective case that makes it a little more bigger than what it is.
Yeah, like I just like that to feel like I have the palm of the world in my hands. I don't want it to flip over.
You don't want it to flip over?
No, I just want it to,
I would ask you, would close the show out by saying, so what's next? But I think we already covered all that within the run of this interview. So y'all already know he's busy, he's working, more EPs, more videos, and steady doing his thing during this time of grieving.
I'm just continuing to work. If you guys want to, find out, about me, you can, hit the Google. You see how my name's spelled, Dantès Alexander. Hit the Google. There's enough information for you to find out there about me. New album, She's a Lady, out. EP, Whirlpool EP out as well. Shout out.